All right, we've got Coach Kendra here. I've got Ryan as the first hand. Go ahead, Ryan.
So, Coach, what did you think about what Adia Barnes and the women's basketball program was able to pull off last night?
Oh, it's been phenomenal to watch. Just so excited for that team, and I know how hard they've worked and how hard she's worked to put the pieces together. And it's just, as a coach, it's just a great feeling to arrive, and she's done it very quickly, and just very very excited to watch this next round with UConn.
What's impressed you the most about the way she's built that program?
Um, Open-minded. I think it started with Ari and kind of built around that, but her ability to be able to get the right pieces in, and then to sell her style of play to all those kids is not easy to do sometimes, and I think the one thing that impresses me is they play so hard all the time, and I think that's been the key. Um, there's never a look of they're out, and I think it kind of begins with Ari and her composure and her body language and that smile on her face, and it's just I know when you get a group of kids together like that all have one common mission, and you start hearing people say that you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it, which is really a blessing for them because I think right now they're just on a roll, and I think they're destined. If I'm UConn right now, I would look out because this team's playing very hard and playing very well right now at the right time of the year.
And Alyssa was named Pac-12 Player of the Week today. That was after she had a stretch where she went 5 games without a hit. I mean, what does that just kind of tell you about the nature of this sport?
Well, it is the nature of the sport. I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs, and like I always say, the mental part of the game is so huge because it will humble you. When you can have a weekend where you're seeing the ball really big, and maybe the matchup with those pitchers kind of suit your eyes, and then the next weekend it looks like an aspirin, and that's just kind of the way the game is, and you just have to have short term memory, and you have to just keep working with the process, and I think she's done that. I think she's kind of found some little niches right now to maybe help her. And like I told the team, I said, there's 2 things you got to control, and that's your eyes and your mind when it comes to hitting. And I think this past weekend we did a really good job of making some good adjustments and got some key hits and offenses. I mean, it's catching, and that's the way this game's always been. So very proud of her that she got the honor, and let's see what she does this weekend.
And do you think it was a big adjustment for her to be the leadoff hitter and then to move down in the middle of the order?
I don't think so. I mean, if you're in the 9 people that are playing, you should not have a problem with being motivated. And the one thing about the leadoff position is most of the time you're the leadoff, maybe the first inning of the game, and then things change. So I think it's no matter where you're at, it's no different than Deja being in the 3rd spot, Harper being in the 4th spot. You just have to take your at bats one at a time and do your best job to have a competitive at bat every time you walk up to the plate.
Sean?
Thanks for being here, Coach. So we just got finished talking with Janelle and Alyssa, and one of the things that struck me is they said that they don't watch film like at all. So I'm wondering, as a coach, is that sort of a decision that you leave up to your players whether they want to decide to watch film or not?
Yeah, we have quite a bit of film uploaded that they're very able to get to if they would like, and there's just some players that feed off of that and like to watch lots of video, and there's some that don't. And so I've never been one to put everyone in a room and say, here, and force feed them, because for some it makes them think too damn much. And so whatever their approach is, especially as you're in your 3rd or 4th year, you pretty much know what you have to do. And these kids have pretty good memory. So a lot of these pitchers, they remember them just like it was yesterday. And so sometimes video can, depending on the results and who they're playing, could have a different effect on them. So I kind of leave it up to them, and we try to keep things simple. We provide some notes, some simple notes about each pitcher and their tendencies, and then at the end of the day, you're trying to cover that 17 inches, and again, it goes back to your eyes, making sure your eyes are in a place that you're seeing a pitch that you like to hit. And every hitter is different. So that zone can change. You know, it's not just the strike zone, but it's a hitting zone. And I think once they understand that, it's just a matter of having some knowledge of what this pitcher, what their go-to pitch may be. The other thing is being able to eliminate pitches more than anything. You know, if you can eliminate a changeup, that's pretty good. You know, because now you're just sitting on speed. But the toughest one is when you have a kid that can really throw the off-speed pitch at any given time. Then it becomes a little more challenging to set up your plan of attack as you walk up to the plate. But we try to keep it simple.
And then for the upcoming road trip you have to Stanford, unfortunately didn't go to team's way in Washington, you know, with the rainouts and then sort of the mini sweep that happened. What do you feel is missing right now that this team is unable to sort of get it done right now on the road versus at home where it's flawless? Because I don't believe your team's lost a game at home yet. What is it you feel is missing on the road?
It's basically performing the game. You know, if you go to the road, you know, Florida State, I mean, all of those games we were right in it. We just couldn't close it. We couldn't get the key hit, and sometimes that can be confidence. Obviously, Hillenbrand Stadium provides a lot more confidence to our kids because it's a very familiar place. They're there every day. Being on the road sometimes is a little bit different. The background's a little bit different for hitters in different ballparks. But I look at that. There shouldn't be an excuse for that. I mean, we have to go out and we have to win on the road. And so hopefully this weekend we will carry the momentum that we've had this last weekend and bring it to the road and play.
And is there anything particularly about Stanford? I mean, I wouldn't say worried about, but maybe that concerns you. I mean, obviously they're one of the top teams in the league. Do you feel that, is it their offense? Is it their pitching? What is it that you feel that they're probably is the biggest threat to your team?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. You know, I think they're much improved over the last couple of years. You know, we haven't seen them in a year. And so I think they've been able to bring in better athletes. I think Jess does a really good job of coaching that team and coaching them up and taking care of the details. So, you know, they're a team that's going to be well prepared. And again, it's going to come down to execution. You know, can we get the key hits when we need them? Can we get runners on base when we need them? Can we pitch the way we need to? And so it's going to be a good challenge, but I think one that we're up to right now.
And then last question for you, Coach. Do you like my beanie? Is it a nice beanie?
I'm trying to figure out what it is. I can't really decide.
It's Jack Skeleton.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, you got it.
Ryan.
Kind of a follow up on Stanford. They have the second best ERA in the Pac-12, and they've also only given up 3 homers. So is there anything specific that you see from their pitching staff? I know you guys hit a lot of homers that will make it difficult for you.
Well, I think the key to the game, no matter what, is going to be making adjustments. And so no matter who's throwing, if you can make adjustments, then you'll have some success. I think we just got to keep the game simple. We've got to, you know, the game, I keep saying, is played on the ground. And when we're swinging the bats well, we're not relying on a home run, even though maybe home runs may come. But, you know, your job is to find a pitch that you can square up and hit it hard. And after that, there's not much control you have over it. So I'm really hoping that that we can make quick adjustments, because that's going to be a key. But I think we're battle tested right now to walk into this, and I'm very excited about it.
How much have you?
It's not going to be a walk in the park, that's for sure.
And how much have you thought about keeping Janelle in the 1 spot when Raina comes back?
I think she's pretty much solidified herself in the 1 spot, so that's not something that I worry about when I go to bed at night. She's performed and she's been on base, and you know, if you look at the stats, she's got the highest on base percentage. So why wouldn't you put her in a leadoff spot? I think Raina is a good second hole hitter. Raina's going to take some time to get back, you know, and get healthy and get ready to swing the bat at the speed of the game. But you know, Raina to me is a professional hitter. I mean, she hits good pitching very well, and so I'm hoping that she can get back and find that that pace that she needs very quickly to help us out. But I commend the kids that have filled in for her. You know, I think Allie Skaggs has done a wonderful job. I think Bone's done a wonderful job. And it'll be nice to get her back. But right now, you know, we have what we have, and we will go to battle with it.
And what's the biggest growth that you've seen, or where's the biggest growth you've seen from Janelle this season?
To me, I think it's just she does a better job of competing each at bat. I think she's got a little more patience than she had last year. But the thing about Janelle is she's got very good hand-eye coordination, and so she can put the bat on the ball. And I think the one thing I've been impressed with is she's eliminated a lot of the strikeouts she had when she was young. She's been able to, you know, even though she's a slapper, she can hit the ball hard when she needs to. But she's just she's a tough out. I mean, a tough one to face because she can do so many things. And for us, getting her on base is huge. And I think Bella really stepped up this weekend in the night spot, and being able to get those two on base, there's a lot of things you can do. So very excited about what's ahead of us right now. We just got to keep plugging away and keep getting 1% better every day.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
All right. We got Ryan and Sean here. When you ask your questions, please direct your question to who you would like to answer. We have the Pac-12 Player of the Week, Alyssa Palomino Cardoza, and Janelle Mionio. All right, Sean, go ahead.
Cool stuff. Thank you, ladies, for both being here. So, Alyssa freaking Palomino Cardoza, that was a awesome weekend against Oregon State. Definitely a great rebound from before. And I was just wondering, so obviously the Florida road trip was pretty tough, and you're one of the most consistent hitters on the team. Kind of didn't happen in Florida, but you were able to find it again with Oregon State. What would you attribute to you being able to find your hit again?
Yeah. Before I answer that, we want to just first congratulate our women's basketball team for making it to the Final Four. We're extremely proud of them, and we can't wait to see them to get their win on Friday and go all the way. But I would say that a big thing was just kind of keeping it simple and not letting it get too much in my head. I think every good hitter goes through a little slump, and I think just being able to find that confidence in myself and just being able to take it one pitch at a time and slow it down in my head, I was able to just find my swing, and one hit got it rolling. And I think that is really what helped me, just talking with coach and just making sure my mind was at ease and I wasn't getting too far into my head.
Another thing too, I'd asked Jesse about this before, and once again with this series, a lot of home runs. I feel that she would said that, you know, like home runs are cool, but it's not the win all be all. But this series, it seemed that home runs they're pretty prevalent for your team. You know, you have a lot of power hitters. I mean, 1 through 9, it really doesn't matter who's up. All of you are capable of like knocking these balls far. So I'm wondering, even though it's not, as she had said, win all be all, do you feel though that it also is an important element for this team? Because you ladies, I mean, you like pound teams into the dirt like in the first few innings, a lot of the times with home runs. Do you feel that it is something though that maybe does define your offense?
I definitely think it's a big part of our offense and how we hit. I wouldn't say that we go up thinking, oh, I'm going to hit a home run, because oftentimes when that happens, we don't. But I think it's just stepping into the box thinking, I'm going to own this pitcher, and however the ball comes off the bat is how it comes off. And it just so happens that we're all strong, and, you know, we like to hit home runs, and it's fun to just come into your teammates and have that celebration.
I like that. I'm gonna own this pitcher. That's awesome confidence. Love that. And then so you're obviously a great home record there in Arizona, but now you'll be going to NorCal on the road to face Stanford, where the team has had a bit of difficulty coming off the tough trips in Florida and in Washington. What do you personally feel that's sort of missing from the team right now to be able to be successful on the road, especially now with Pac-12 play opening up and many of the best teams in the nation are in the Pac-12?
I think, I mean, just being able to have fans maybe was probably one of the hardest things I mean, traveling, we don't have as many fans as normal, but we still have to go out and play Arizona softball. And I think we just kind of had to find ourselves on the road. And I think playing at home this weekend kind of helped us find out that we're still a good team. We can still hit, we can still play. So I think going into Stanford, that's just the same mentality that we have to have is we're still a good team. And no matter where we play, we just need to stick to Arizona softball. And I think that's our mindset at this point, and that's just how we're going to go in.
And then Janelle, you've also emerged as one of the best leadoff hitters in the Pac-12. At times, you're either leading the conference in batting average or like around second or third. What would you feel has sort of led to your surgence as now becoming one of the best hitters in the conference?
I think for me, one of the things that has helped me the most is being able, like Alyssa said, to keep things simple and slow the game down. I just feel like my at-bats have been really good because I've been able to slow the pitchers down and see the ball all the way through. And I think that's just really helped me and my game.
So obviously, as a leadoff hitter, you don't have the benefit as many of your teammates do of seeing many pitches before. So what, like, would you say that would you say you spend maybe more time watching film, or is it more hitting practice? Because, being in the leadoff spot, it's a tough job because you're the first at bat and you're the one that could lead to the first run being driven in. So what, like, is there anything else you say that you feel that you've done in the meantime?
I mean, I've gone into the cages a lot to hit, if that's what you're asking. But I just try, my job as a leadoff hitter, I try to see as many pitches as I can. So I try to extend my at-bats as much as possible so that even if I don't get on, I can tell my teammates, like, hey, she's throwing here with 2 strikes, or expect this and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Ryan?
And Janelle, I think the last time we talked to you, you were still hitting at the bottom of the order. I mean, what has that transition been like going to being hitting at the bottom to the top?
I've been used to the top before, and I think now I'm like extra comfortable because the Florida trip and Oregon State, I was at the top. And wait, can you repeat the question again?
Just like what's that transition been like? I mean, you said it seems like it's been pretty seamless for you. I know you were a leadoff hitter growing up.
Yeah, it hasn't been too hard for me, to be honest. I'm comfortable at both now, I think.
Does your approach change at all? Because obviously when you're taking the first at bat for your team, you don't have a chance to look at and maybe get your timing down and see what the pitcher has before you take your first at bat.
My approach is basically the same. I always have the same plan, just to get on base, so it doesn't change much there.
And Alyssa, what's impressed you about Janelle, the way she's been hitting?
I think just that she keeps it simple. She doesn't let the game get too big, and she knows that she needs to go deep in the count to kind of help us see what she's pitching, what the pitcher's going to do in our at bat, and she does her job well of bouncing the ball, getting a bunt down, getting a line drive triple. She can do it all when she's up there. So just being able to keep it simple, like she's really matured a lot in that.
And Alyssa, what do you think about not being the leadoff hitter anymore? I mean, do you like hitting in the middle of the order? It seems like your skill set is more tailored to that, with hitting with runners on base and driving people in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind where I'm at in the lineup. My mindset is where I'm at, I'm going to get the job done no matter if there's runners on or there's not runners on, or if it's, if I'm leading off an inning just to get on base. My mindset is just to do anything to help the team, whatever situation that is.
And assuming I know how to count, I think your 5-game hitless streak was the longest of your career. I mean, what does it kind of say about this sport and as a whole that you can have a stretch like that, and then the next week you're the Pac-12 Player of the Week?
Yeah. This game is a roller coaster. And Coach always says that we play a game of failure, and it's just kind of how we handle that failure. And I think just not letting the game get too big or too small, but kind of staying, in that straight line of not getting too high or too low, and just remembering that we've been playing the game for so long and it hasn't changed. So just getting back into that confident mindset of I can hit any pitcher and I can get the job done in any situation.
And do you think that that's the exact mindset you guys needed to coming off that trip going into this Oregon State series? For
sure. I definitely think that we had 2 weeks of struggle, and we just need to get back in that. We are Arizona softball, and we have a special team and we can beat anybody. So just getting back in that attitude of when we step on the field, we will not lose.
Anything else for the players?
Just I guess for Alyssa, Stanford has normally when you think of the top pitching teams in the conference, you think of your team or Washington or UCLA or Oregon, but they're number 2 in ERA right now. I mean, what do you see from them? Why do you think they've been so good in the circle?
Honestly, haven't watched them pitch at all, if I'm going to be completely honest, but anybody can play at any level, no matter where they're at. We're just going to go in with our mindset of we'll hit any pitcher, and just kind of keep that confidence level.
I guess the follow-up would be in college softball, how much of hitting is you preparing for the pitcher or you just going up there and trusting what you do well and adjusting as you go?
Yeah, I think honestly it depends on the person, because in my 6 years I have watched 0 film. So it depends honestly on who you are and what you need. So for me, I don't watch any film. I know other teammates of mine watch film all the time so they can have an idea. So it really just depends on what kind of hitter you are and what you need to see before you get out there.
So Janelle, where do you kind of sit on that spectrum? Do you like watching film, or are you just kind of a person that just goes up there and hits?
I don't watch film either. I just talk to Kate mainly. She just gives me like the inside about what the pitcher's like, what she throws and where it's going to be at, like inside, outside, up, down. But mainly just trusting and remembering who you are. You're here for a reason and you're meant to be in that moment. So
I guess just my last question. How do you guys just continue the success that you had at home? How do you carry that over on the road this time?
I mean, I think like I said before, just remembering that we're Arizona softball, and no matter what stadium we walk into, that doesn't change. So just keeping that mindset, like I've said, we can beat any team and we need to step on the field and act like it.
All right. Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Janelle.